I can't hear the good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Is the breakfast so heavy that you are made to sleep? No? How is it? How was it for the past 2 days? Good? Everything is fine? Any complaints? No. Okay. So, first of all, a warm welcome to all of you for this first phase of the capacity building program that we usually have in June. 3 days. We'll have the second phase in October, before the Dashera vacations begin. So on behalf of DAV College Managing Committee, President Sri Poonam Suri ji, Chairman of the school Sri Prabodh Mahajan ji, Director Sri B.K. Chopra ji, Director Academics Dr. Nisha Peshin, our manager Mrs. Minu Agarwal, on my personal behalf, on behalf of all the staff of Matrushri DAV Public School, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you on this third day of the capacity building program. I somehow feel the program is incomplete without my interaction with all of you. There is a trend. So, to be very honest, up to 2 days back, I didn't even know what I'm going to speak to you about. A lot of things were going on in my mind. I have to tell teachers this, I have to tell teachers this, I have to tell teachers this. But they were all, in bits and pieces. I had not collated it into my mind and not brought it into a structure to be able to talk to all of you. So then I was just discussing with my friends and supervisory heads what to talk, and then a few topics came up. So yesterday I had narrowed down to this topic, reflective teaching. I found it very interesting. So morning, when all of the principals were in their observations, I did a little bit of research, then went home, did my further research. My knowledge was this, but with this knowledge I can't speak. I have to make my knowledge this before I speak to you. So all of you know what teaching is. And all of you know what reflection means. What does reflection mean? Thinking about what action has been performed Ramesh, నాకు ట్యాగ్ తీసుకురామా ట్యాగ్ what has been performed and then performing the action and then looking back at what was the action, what was the consequence, and was it good, was it bad, was it effective, was it ineffective, and how we are going to transform for the future. So there's a past, there's a present, and there's a future to reflect on. Yes, there are 3 things. You plan for something, you execute it, you reflect upon it, you think upon it, you decide whether it was good or bad, and then what you have to do for the future. I think teaching itself has undergone a great paradigm shift. There is a great paradigm shift in teaching itself. Teaching is not what it was before. The teacher cannot stick to her knowledge and the textbook and the chalk and the talk alone. There are various avenues available for knowledge today. You are only one of the instruments of knowledge, disseminating that knowledge to children. One of the instruments. So you are one of the instruments. You are not the instrument. must look up to us that yes, my teacher knows everything, my teacher can deliver, my teacher is the person who can give my ultimate solutions to all my queries and to all my problems. Are we able to give that confidence to the children? This is the first question we have to ask ourselves. If we do not give that confidence to the children, we might be efficient teachers, but we will not become effective teachers. We might be proficient teachers with great qualifications, but the teaching proficiency in the classroom is questionable. So what is on paper as your qualification, and what is the deliverable in the classroom, and how far the deliverable in the classroom goes into the student's mind is a big question. And unless what you deliver into the classroom gets into the student's mind, translates as knowledge, as understanding, as learning, as analysis into the child's mind, your teaching is ineffective and incomplete. Do you agree with me or not? And today, we cannot be the teacher who only sticks to our lecture method. We have to be an activity-oriented teacher. And thanks to the technology, thanks to the internet, thanks to everything, today we have various avenues which can educate us. We only have to search and research. But unfortunately, what we are doing? We are spending time on stupid reels and on unnecessary politics and on some gossip which is not at all giving us any professional growth. And we are not concentrating on professional growth. So, let us come back to what I was thinking to deliver to you today. Reflective teaching. What is reflective teaching? Is it a one-time delivery or is it a process? It's a process. It's not something that is just done one time. It's a process. What do the teachers do during that process? They examine what are the teaching experiences that they are transacting in the classroom. And then, through those teaching experiences, what are the events that they are designing for the children in the classroom? Is that event giving us a desired outcome for the children? And then make informed decisions how to implement this in the future. Whether what you implemented in the classroom is effective, is something which is producing result or is not producing result. Let me take a small example. This is not teaching. This is behavioral management in the classroom. A teacher goes to the classroom in the morning. It's the first period of the day. Teacher has come with a beautiful lesson plan in her mind where she wants to teach an activity on magnetism. Teacher comes to the class. But in the class, there are two events happening. One is the birthday of the most favorite child of the class. And the second is the child who is most troublesome in class is very distressed on that day because in the morning he has got a bashing from his parent. We are dealing with 7th class children. So the teacher enters the class and she says, I am going to introduce magnetism to you. I am going to do an activity. Now we are all going to be divided into groups. We are all going to be doing this, doing that. She has her plan and she wants to start it. Suddenly from one corner of a class there is a giggle. One big group starts giggling. Her attention gets diverted. So what's happening in the class? Come on, that group, stand up. So she makes everyone stand up. As a explanation that the giggling group is the group definitely which wants to celebrate the birthday party. They don't want class on that day. They want only to celebrate the birthday of their friend. So something, they first start with giggles. Then they plan to do something else to disrupt the class. Then somehow she calms them down, makes them sit down, and already 10 minutes of her time is lost out of the 40 minutes. She says, I have only 30 minutes. What do I do? Then she again comes and starts. In the meantime, this fellow here starts, wailing. She says, what's wrong with you? Are you crying? What are you doing? No, I don't want. I want to go home. I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm not all right. 10 minutes goes in pacifying this fellow. So by the time all this is done, that whole teacher's mood is upset because her plan is upset. Her lesson plan has gone for a toss. And she gets angry with the children. She says, I came with so many thoughts, so many things. You children are done indisciplined lot. I plan to do this today. I am not going to do this activity with you. You go home, you read this activity, you write it in the notes that the activity is done. Tomorrow I am going to check the things. Today I am going to do something else, and she starts teaching. Teacher is frustrated, teacher is irritated. Children have irritated the teacher, and she comes to staff room and she says, hopeless children, how do you teach this kind of children who are animals, who don't know how to behave, who don't know how to do? Irritating class, and the class gets branded as the most mischievous class in school. 2 actions by children, 2 reflections on the teacher, and the whole day goes for a toss for that class. Every teacher who comes to the class goes on branding the class as the most mischievous class. Now what should the teacher reflect upon? Should the teacher reflect or not? First of all, question number 1. What should the teacher reflect upon and what she should? You will all say, we are all human beings, madam, we are not robots. Children are most irritating. They do not listen to us. But then, if as 35-year-olds, as 40-year-olds, as 50-year-olds, we are allowing children's mood swing and affections to affect us, are we a proper teacher? First we have to reflect upon that thought. Then somewhere your lesson plan should be a little flexible, having 5 to 10 minutes time for this kind of mishaps in the class also. You should not be too rigid a lesson plan. And then the teacher's mindset should be a mindset which is able to mold itself to any unforeseen calamity like this in the class. I am using the word calamity. I am not using unforeseen circumstance. No. According to teacher, it is a calamity for her because what she has planned, she has not been able to deliver. So that is where reflection first has to happen. And then, how do we change? We don't allow our moods to affect what happens in the classroom. We don't allow our staff room gossip to influence children. We don't allow what we carried in the first period to affect the school the whole day. Should this happen or not? Is it happening in your schools or not? Is this a regular procedure or not? Let us question ourselves. I am not giving an idealistic situation. Nowhere there is an ideal school. Every school has its own problems. But these kind of problems arise in every situation, in every school, in every place. Do you agree with me or not? Yes or no? Yes. So, again I told you it is a process. It is a process that occurs both during and after an action. So through reflection, teachers become aware of their own strengths, their own weaknesses, and develop the ability to make thoughtful decisions regarding instructional improvement. What is our final objective? Our final objective is our classroom transactions should become effective with children and learning should be optimized. Yes or no? That's our final objective. And children should love your class. When you go to the class, oh, it's Anita Ma'am's class. It will be such a wonderful class. That should be the reception. Mrs. Anita gets in the class. Yes or no? So why reflective teaching? What for reflective teaching? Do we have an objective for it? Why should we get into this? We have been teaching all these years. We've been teaching for generations. अभी आज नया क्या आके reflective teaching के बारे में आप बता रहे हो? What is the need for it? Is there a need? Is there an objective? Yes, there is a need. There is an objective. There is very much something which we have to do today. First of all, the quality of teaching and learning has to improve. Do you agree? Yes, all of us agree? Our objective is that our quality, we cannot remain what teacher we were 20 years ago. We have to be a refined teacher. Yes? Then, we have to promote professional growth and development. What are you all here for? Now for these 3 days. You are here for professional growth and development. You might know so many things, but you might not know a small speck in that big spectrum. That small speck you are going to learn. Okay? And to identify strengths and weaknesses in instructional practices. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? You have to identify. To encourage self-evaluation. Nobody is going to come and tell you, you are a good teacher, you are a better teacher, you are this, you are that. It is your own self who has to evaluate yourself. And then to enhance classroom management skills. Yes. To improve student engagement and achievement. Yes. To support evidence-based decision making. Tomorrow you have made a decision to bring about this change. Why is your decision based on what evidence? Today everything runs on evidences. Okay? And to foster innovation and creativity. So there's a great need for this. Okay, now let's come to the importance of reflective teaching. What is the importance? First of all, professional development. Okay? You think about your teaching strategies, you identify the lacuna, you feel you are not up to the mark in a particular skill, then you make an effort to learn that particular skill to become a better teacher, and then that transaction happens in the class. For example, I can take 2 examples. Some of the teachers might be very good at verbose written content, but they might not be good at making that into an activity. Some teachers will be excellent in doing activities, but they might not be very good at, putting it down on pen and paper as a procedure. So there are 2 teachers, one who is this talented and one who is this talented. If there is a peer observation of the lessons of these teachers, each teacher observes the other's lesson, then this teacher learns how the other is doing, what is her strength, what was her weakness is the other person's strength, what was her weakness is the other person's strength. So both the weaknesses are overcome and both the strengths are improved. That is how qualitative enhancement comes in institutions. Institutional welfare, institutional development happens with qualitative enhancement of all its teachers. Yes or no? Do you agree or not? Yes? Then, second one, teachers also continuously assess themselves. What am I doing? What am I doing? Do I improve? Do I need to improve? See, gone are the days where we were into an institution and we were simply doing the run-of-the-mill job. साल हो गया, अगला साल इंक्रीमेंट आया, इंक्रीमेंट को लिया, पैकेट में लगाया, सैलरी ड्रॉप किया, चलो। अभी वो सब नहीं है ना? Everything has become performance based, including your MACP, which is now become PCPS, performance based career progression scheme. If you don't perform, you don't get an additional promotion. Simple. And it's a rat race. There are so many people in the school. Your own colleagues are your competitors. But you have to be not in a jealous mode with them, But you must know that your development is in your hand. Nobody is going to develop you. You are going to develop yourself by yourself. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So, first one, professional development. The importance of reflective teaching it helps in professional development. Second one, it helps in improved student learning. Now we were talking about identifying the strengths and weaknesses and overcoming the strengths and weaknesses. So it helps in improved student learning. When teachers reflect upon their instructional methods, they can identify strategies that promote better student engagement. Yes. Better decision making. You are making informed decisions. You are making decisions with a lot of alternatives in front of you and choosing the best alternative that is best suited for the student. So it helps student learning with better decision making. It enhances your problem solving skills, because problem solving is always when you do a problem solving, when you have all the alternatives in front of you. When you have one problem and you only think of one solution, that is not problem solving. Problem solving is when you think of three alternatives and you choose the best alternative that is suited for you. That is where your problem solving and your creativity is coming into play. I have one problem and I will approach this problem only in this particular way. The problem that we usually have with parents. According to us, we are always right, parent is always wrong. Parent will never listen to us. Parent will never do this. Parent will never do that. What are we doing in turn to communicate to parents? Are we making parent equal stakeholder and equally responsible for the child development? Are we keeping the parent informed? Are we making the parent aware what is the lacuna that is there in the child? We don't do it. First unit test gets over, second unit test gets over, first RT gets over, PT gets over, second unit test gets over, then second PT gets over. Before the last PT, teachers will come to us and they will say, ma'am, the student can't even read, ma'am. What you are doing for 8 months? Parent will come and question us. My child is there in your school for the past 6 years. What are you doing with the child? I am telling ma'am the parent every time. Please remember, teachers, everything should be evidence-based. You are telling the parent orally doesn't stand anywhere. Is there a diary note to the parent? Is there a written communication? Diary note also, some teachers. Always I have read diary notes, it will only be in complaint mode. All negative. Your child is not doing the homework, your child is not doing this, your child is jumping in the class, your child is disturbing others. Please come and meet. Please educate yourself. Go to the internet. How to write a note to parents. There are so many websites which teach you how to make a positive note about a child and a concern note about a child and invite the parent to school to speak about the concern. It should always be, we have a concern about your child. You are requested to come to school to meet the supervisory head and the class teacher and speak about this concern. If needed, you will be asked to meet the principal also in this regard. Your vocabulary, your language, your communication to the parent is very, 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 very important. You can't go on complaint mode. You can't go on war mode. Go on with the stand shooting against the parent. Even your communications to parents, it can be tough, but it cannot be rude. You must know the difference between being tough and being rude, being firm and being rude. My messages to parents regarding fee collection are always in this way. I say, good morning parents, I hope you are aware, the first term fee collection began so and so date and it ended on so and so date. A 45-day window was given to you for paying the fee. But the second term is going to begin from tomorrow. All our staff are at your service to help you out with the fee collection. Fee payment can also be done online. But requesting you to to comply with school dates, fee payment dates in order to avoid administrative problems for us. Kindly do the payment on time. This will be the first term. Last term, parent who doesn't pay for 3 terms, I have to pull up the parent. Yes, child has been in the school for 3 terms, but the parent has not paid the fee. So I reflect upon myself, what will be the message I give to the parent? I make a very emotional message. I say, ours is a private oriented school. It runs only on the fees that you pay as parents. 3 terms fee is due for your ward. And all the teachers have been rendering their services for your ward over the years, over for the whole year. Kindly ensure that you pay the fee before it necessitates any further action. What action I won't say. I won't threaten. But before it necessitates any further action. So your language to parents, your language to, even when the HOD, passes a group message in the group. Nowadays everything, the whole zamana is by WhatsApp. Okay? Please remember, you can be firm, but you can't be rude. You can be tough, but you can't insult. You can't speak to a person in a derogatory manner. Okay? Then, last but not the least, what is the importance of reflective teaching? Once you reflect upon your teaching and once you improve yourself and there is a continuous professional development, you increase your job satisfaction, which is the final quotient that is required in a school to be a happy teacher. Okay? The job satisfaction increases, you have greater motivation to teach, and you are a better teacher. Okay. Now what is this process? There is a process, I told you a process. How does this process go about? First of all, you have to plan. It's a continuous cycle for improvement. You're planning. How does your planning go? It starts with your timetable, it starts with your lesson plans, it starts with your division of, periods for every topic, it starts with how much you will be spending on theory, how much you will be spending on activity, how much you will be spending on evaluating the students in the class, how much will be there for discussion, how many periods you are allotting. So it starts with all that. And by now, April, since we have begun school, we have crossed all that phase. Our planning is already done. And for the new teachers who have come, you all have to just step into what your seniors have done. You are not going to do anything new now. There's already a structured framework available for you. Isn't it? Then, you have planned it, then you teach. You implement it in the classroom. Then, you observe. What all do you observe? You observe the student participation, you observe their behavior, you observe what responses they have given or they have understood or they have not understood. And then, when we give an assessment, we know whether the child has understood or not, and whether we have to do a remediation in our teaching or not, we know. Then, after we observe, we reflect. We reflect upon what has happened, we identify the strengths and weaknesses, and if we find what is our teaching or whatever we have delivered has not reached the child, the alternative method we start approaching. Then we modify. We modify based on our reflection, our teaching strategy. Maybe we did an activity. The children remember the activity, but they don't remember the concept. So again you have to reiterate to children, we did that activity. That activity is based on this concept. This concept has this application. So again you have to go back to that and rework on it. And then re-implementation of the same teaching strategy once again. This is the entire process. Okay? Now, how do you go about this whole process? Donald Sean, on his theory of reflection, says there are 3 parts in this whole process. Reflection in action, reflection on action, and reflection for action. In, on, for. Reflection in action. When you are teaching, on the spot, in the present. Now I am talking to you. I am trying to, take my eye to the last row, whether the attention, the people who are there are listening to me or not. This is only listening. Whereas if I am doing an activity here, I have to see whether all children are involved in the activity, whether each child is participating or not, or whether one child is a reluctant child who is not participating at all. So a reflection in action, to be able to take on-the-spot decision when an action is taking place. That is, when you are actually teaching in the class. Then, reflection on action. Your teaching is over, you are thinking about it. Okay, in the class, a particular segment of children were disinterested, they were uninterested, they were not answering. Tomorrow when I go to class, I have to catch hold of that segment of children and I have to question them whether they have understood or not. Or I have to make them do the activity that I did so that I understand whether they have understood or not. So I start reflecting on my action and then I start reflecting for action, for what I am going to do in the future. If what I have done today needs modification, I plan the modification and I implement it in the future. This cycle. This is a cyclic thing. In, on, for. In, on, for. We have to keep thinking about ourselves and doing it. Okay? Now you can ask me, Madam, reflective teaching, you are saying, how do we go about this? How do we achieve this? How do we do this? Journaling is a very good method. Nowadays, unfortunately, we are so caught with our mobiles. Nobody even maintains a diary or writes a diary. I am not talking about your teaching diary. I am talking about a diary. I am a diary person. I have a to-do list every day morning. I make my to-do list the previous day. And my to-do list is there in the morning when I start my job. And by the end of the day, is my to-do completed or not for the day? So journaling, an incident has happened in the class. You make a note of it. Keep your personal diary. Make a note of it. Make a note of it and then try to find out what is the cause. Most of our teachers, we might not journal, but we notice a lot. A particular child comes in disheveled clothes for 1 week, 10 days, doesn't bring an interesting lunch, only carries some pappu rice or some curd rice every day, is very dull, doesn't participate in the class, in the activities. As teachers, don't we notice it immediately? We notice it. We are very perceptive. We notice it. And then, we try to make our attempts in trying to find out why the child is like that. What it is. Please teach us one thing, let me tell you. Publicly, don't call any child to you and don't announce in the class and don't make a public statement. Hey, this fellow is not at all interested in the class. For the past 10 days, he is not showing any interest. Don't make such statements. Try to call the child personally to you. Talk to the child personally. Try to find out what is the problem and then try to address the problem and address the child. Please do not publicly make any statements about any child. Some teachers have the habit. They call children monkeys, donkeys just because they jump in the class. And if a child is a little fat, they say, hey fatso, come here. Hey dark fellow, come here. No body shaming in the classroom. No, give equal attention to all children. No neglect to a particular child. Neglect of a particular child in class also is child abuse. If you don't look at a child in the eye and speak and neglect a child in the class, that resorts to abuse. My teacher doesn't notice me. He doesn't see me. He doesn't look into my eye. He thinks I am an object to be ignored. No, don't do that. Children want to be seen, felt and heard. Let me repeat. Children want to be seen, felt and heard. I am using the word felt. Please men, don't go and hug a child. Don't do that. Stay away. But when I say felt, I'm talking about their feelings, their emotions. They need to be felt, they need to be heard. And when you hear, make an impartial judgment, because children will sing a different tune to you, they'll sing a different tune at home. It will be a completely different tune at home. Because they want your attention in school, they want the parents' attention at home. So what story they tell at home will be a different story, what story they tell at school will be a different story. So you must know how you have to validate the stories in a better way. Please be there for the children. Then, peer observation. We were talking about how colleagues can observe each other's teaching. Now usually in our schools, I'm sure the city schools are doing it, I'm not sure about the rural schools. We have a class observation session by the senior teachers or the HOD or the principal, supervisory heads, they go and observe. Now what I want you to take up at principals this year is, make at least in the entire year, 1 or 2 teachers to observe every other teacher's class. Let them go sit in their free period, you alone. Monthly.
Should it be each other, ma'am?
Yes, it should be. See, what I feel is, if there's an English department, the senior teacher's classes, the junior teacher should go and just sit and listen. And the junior teacher's classes, the senior teachers should come and listen. Everybody, it can be cyclic. Every teacher's class, every other teacher can attend. I mean, maximum in a department there will be 8-10 teachers. 1 a month, if we can schedule, also it will be good. Do that. And when you do this, what should be the mindset? The mindset should be open-minded. ఈమె పెద్ద తోపు, ఈమె క్లాస్లో వెళ్ళి నేను కూర్చోవాలి, ఈమె అటెండ్ చేయాలి, ఈమెకు ఒక ప్రోఫార్మా ఉంటుంది, ఆ ప్రోఫార్మా ఫిల్అప్ చేయాలి, గుడ్డు గాడి గుడ్డు రాయాలి, నేను పై పాట లేదు. Who's asking you to write good? Nobody's asking you to write good. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. It's not that way. What positive you have observed in that class? What is the need improvement area in that class? Have the guts to write it, no? What is the need improvement area? And when your colleague looks at it, let your colleague have an open mind. Yes, this is my need improvement area. My colleague has told this to me. Let me do it and let me reflect upon it and let me change. If that attitude is not there, peer observation becomes a big failure. See, children, when we do in the class peer teaching, we ask them for peer learning and peer teaching, how beautifully they do. Children are least bothered whether that fellow is a 90% fellow or that person is a 40% fellow. They will teach the friend. The smart fellow will explain to the slow learner in the most easy way. There is no ego between them. They teach very beautifully. When we do group activities, when we do peer learning activities, that is very beautifully implemented in the classroom. When children of 14, 15, 13, 12, 10, 11, 9, 8 can do it, why we as 40-year-olds cannot do it? What is wrong with us? A big crown on our head, ego, ego. Remove the crown, place it elsewhere. Think it is not your property, and then start learning. In COVID, how nicely we became each other's helping friend. How we help each other. The person who did not learn ABC of computers was taught everything about computers only by his peer. Nobody else taught them. But today what has changed? COVID has got peer change. Why should we change? Why can't we be the same? We can have student feedback. Of course, I don't believe in primary student feedback, but let the high school, senior secondary, wherever it is there, student feedback values a lot. You can create a proforma for student feedback. Each teacher can design her own feedback proforma, and whatever are the need improvement areas, ask the student will suggest. And then work upon it. Then make a video recording of your own lesson one of the days. Go home, sit in peace and listen to the whole video recording. There will be some teachers who use one word again and again and again and again. Actually, I want to teach this. Actually, in one lesson, there will be 100 actuallys. Or there will be unwanted pauses at unwanted places. And you will start with an idea, the connector will go away, you will jump from that idea to another idea. So make a video recording of your own lessons, sit and observe it. Again, all this has to be interdisciplinary and somebody has to help you. You can't ask children to make the recording. Okay? Then they will only sit with your mobile. Again, you have to take your peer help. So departments should become very strong. Departments should not become isolated entities. Now in every school the competition must begin like which department is the strongest department, where each teacher is helping the other, where each one stands for the other. One teacher suddenly has a sprain, has a fall, the teacher cannot stand in class, the teacher can only sit and teach. The teacher cannot go to the board, the teacher cannot write the notes on the board. So the department, when we give substitution, we try to give to department people. The teacher must say, I will do the teaching. But somebody has to help me with board work. You have to help. A teacher gets viral fever and is absent for 15 days to school. Can the class suffer? Substitute teacher has to step in. You have to do. So, schooling is not like a corporate job where your job you don't do, you sit at home for 10 days, you come back and then you work on it. No. It's an everyday process where if you are absent, somebody has to step in. That's why I tell teachers, don't be absent. Because your children will miss you. Your continuity with the lessons go away. Try to minimize your leaves, especially during working days. The holidays are yours, nobody is going to pull it away from you. So, this is the video recording. Then make some self-assessment checklists. Okay, I have to do this worksheet, this worksheet, this worksheet, this thing. Have I completed it? Am I due for it? HOD will always have the complaint. These two teachers, madam, in the department, whatever work we give them, they will never do. Till the last minute, they will keep it pending. Then there is no other go. I am HOD department for room, last minute I complete the work. And HODs have this complaint with me. The teachers have also been pulled up. They have also been told. But there is no improvement, there is no change. After that, what they do? They can't stop our improvement, they can't sack us, they are all regular teachers. What they can do? This attitude sets in. Nobody, even if God descends on earth, He cannot change. That attitude is very dangerous. Very dangerous. Should never allow that attitude to sit. Now let me come to the challenges that we have. Madam, you are talking everything from an administrator seated. You come, you sit in the class, you teach the whole 40 minutes, then you will know what it is. Talking, preaching is very nice, very good. But implementation, it is impossible. I did not become a principal without sitting on the other side. I worked, proved myself, and then only came over this side. I always tell teachers, this I use in every workshop. I speak in the language of mathematics. You must never be, you can be a teacher minus, teacher plus. Teacher minus, one who feels, oh, I didn't get any other job, it is my fate to be a teacher, let me come, let me work, let me draw my salary and let me go. One who curses herself and works as a teacher. This kind of teachers we don't want in DAV. Second category, teacher with a plus or a minus, nothing. Management has given me this role, class 5, English class 3, this thing, class this. This is my timetable. What I can do for my timetable, I come from 9 to 4, I finish my timetable, I do my corrections, I'll be there in school, I'll do and I'll go. That's all. And who is the teacher plus? First the teacher plus will work on himself or herself. Try to improve. Reflect upon his teaching. Be a reflective teacher. Try to change his or her teaching strategies. Then try to give value additions to the class, to the children. Try to prove to be an asset teacher to the class and to the school. And try to be of value to the organization. Madam, do you want me to help you in the school in some work? I'm there, I can do. I can help you with this. Sir, I can help you with this. Every teacher must aspire to be not just a teacher plus, but teacher plus, adding value to oneself. Never underestimate your own value. Then you can transform yourself and you can transform the society also. And every child will want you only to be the teacher for the next year. That inspiration you have to give yourself. What are the challenges we face? The first challenge is lack of time. The curriculum is so tightly packed, the schedule is so tightly packed, the revisions are so tightly packed. Where is the time to reflect upon oneself? We don't have time to even reflect upon ourselves in the mirror, what we are wearing every day in the morning. Where is the time to reflect within? Genuine question. Yes or no? Some people feel, they don't have any other business. Every other day they come with something like this. Change, they go on talking about change. We are all qualified to be ed teachers. Why the hell should we change ourselves? Resistance to change. The mindset. Unchanging mindset. This is very much there in all of us. Thank God COVID changed it. It made us realize what are our acumen. Like Alvin Toffler says, he says, the illiterate of the 21st century are not those people who cannot read or write, but those who cannot relearn, unlearn, learn, relearn and unlearn. So what we know, we have to unlearn and relearn certain things. Only then we can become better people. Then third one, limited support. Ma'am, in the workshop you are talking on the stage. But when we go back to our schools to implement, we go and ask, we want 4 papers for this activity. My principal says, art paper, I don't have stationery, I cannot give you anything. Without paper, you do it. Principals, please, squeeze your budgets somewhere else, but not on giving stationery or material for children to do activities. Create a budget if you want for doing that. Create a budget. Create a budget and do it. Lot of difficulty in self-evaluation. You don't know how to evaluate yourself. You feel you are the greatest. That is also a problem. And inadequate training. Many people are not trained. All our workshops, capacity building workshops that we are conducting, is only to make you reflect upon your teaching practices and make you better teachers. Do you agree or not? Everything. Is there a learning that happens? Yesterday somebody was telling me, ma'am, our workshops are far better than the Delhi workshops. We go to Delhi, we attend and come. What workshops we do here are far better. The learning is far better. That is because all of you are now into, the master trainers are now into that mode where that 1.5 hours that is given to them, in that 1.5 hours, what best I can give to my group. Because it is not just delivering, it is afterwards also, whether the transfer of training has taken place in the classroom, that also you have to account for it now. Yes or no? So teachers, let's once again go back. I have only skimmed over the topic. Reflective teaching. Each one of you are great researchers. Research upon it. Find out your own strategies and methodologies by which you can improve upon your teaching and become excellent and wonderful teachers. It's 10:10. I have exceeded my time by 10 minutes. The next 5 minutes are open for any questions or any discussion. We can break at 10:15. Any questions? Any concerns? Any questions, any reflections also? You have listened to me. You need not give the reflection in the evening, you can give it right now. You can speak about something. I don't want a passive audience, I want an active audience. Anybody? Any principal? Yes? Prashant? Mike?
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Ma'am, the topic that you have selected today, reflective teaching, is the most apt and needed topic. It's need of the hour, not just because we are not doing things the way we have been doing all the years, but times are changing, and there is a serious need for each and every one of us to reflect on what we are doing and how we are doing. Not only that, we have broken down things into such a simpler fashion that when we look into, the most important thing that comes to our mind is what we really do. Are we reflecting on that? Are we really doing that SWOT analysis of that? Which is very important, and most of us we have forgotten. During this time, SWOT analysis of everything that we do, we are not, pondering upon. That is very important. Not only that, madam, yesterday during our principals meeting, we were having discussion on remediation. The quality of remediation that needs to be focused upon. Normally, remedial classes each school conducts, we all take, but then the quality that has to go into that remediation also needs to be looked into, which you discussed yesterday. These are all very important things. And icing on the top is that CBSE is making a lot of changes. Now they have come with one more circular where they say 75% stays with the parents, and the importance of how a teacher has to handhold students, talk to parents, nurture students, nurture all the stakeholders is very important, and a lot of reflection has to go into this because we forget a lot on this and we end up landing into problems.
No, first of all, as principals also, our attitudes also have to change. We have to reflect upon our roles.
Correct.
Our roles as an authoritarian principal is no longer valid in today's day.
Correct.
We have to take a parent as equal stakeholder in the upbringing, take parent into our fold, and then try to find solutions. It should never be, we are doing this, I am doing this. Let us together work for the development of the child should be the language we speak.
True, ma'am, absolutely true. And most important thing, what you said is, we have to always unlearn what we have learned to relearn. That is very important, ma'am. Beautiful session. Thank you so much for throwing light on all the important aspects. The most important thing is we have to go, we have to sit, do our homeworks, sit with our staff, and again ensure that things fall in place. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Oh, 5 minutes? We have 10, 15. Teachers, anybody, please get up. Please come. Evening, you will all be in a rush to leave. We would love to hear from you.
Good morning, ma'am. Actually, we are doing this reflection most of the times. When I am teaching a topic, after that then CT is taken. Marks are not there. I will think about the strategies, how to teach it again so that children are learning it. But the scientific term for that I was not knowing. So that is reflective teaching. Most of the teachers are doing. Once we ask oral questions in the class, the children are not answering. We'll find different ways how to teach that topic again so that we can get the answers from them. So reflective teaching is going on, but aaj pata laga we were doing that. We will try to implement it more.
Somebody wants to speak from here.
On the point, unlearn and relearn, which is where we have to again reflect ourselves. And not only in teaching profession, but it is self-reflection is important even in our personal life also. That I could connect it when you were telling the examples and all. And definitely we will surely follow it, ma'am. Thank you.
Outstation schools, what is your reflection on today's topic? Somebody? They are still absorbing. It is still getting into their head.